that I want to follow a stomach ulcer diet very closely. And every day I've been checking because I keep forgetting. But my burping keeps reminding me that I need to stay on top of that. I try to focus on buying groceries only in the morning time. And yeah, for the past few days, it's been a focus on stomach ulcer diets. That's what I type in the search, and I look at different topics to understand. Oh, yeah, good morning, Zap. Try to understand what I need to keep focused on because I lost focus a lot, which was leading me to this burping problem. And I guess you could call it puking problem too. It's burping, hiccuping, puking. It's all together. Anything that involves a regurgitation. And I need to concentrate on the foods that help the stomach, like protect the stomach. Now I just got marshmallow. I paid my $12 for this much marshmallow. That's not a highly recommended thing, but it is recommended. If you search enough, you spend enough time trying to figure this stuff out. And I've been back and forth quite a bit. It's just it's really hard to stay on top of proper topics a lot of times. I was definitely misguided when I was in jail in Natchitoches when the nurse said that, oh, you got a hiatal hernia. And that was it. There was no, oh, you need to do this with your hiatal hernia. It was, oh, you got a hiatal hernia. Now get out of here. That's prison nurses for you. They don't, even the nurses have no respect. All right. You can't expect any respect in jail. They'll misdiagnose you and then have no solutions. And there's no research for almost 30 days. After being told, oh, you got a hiatal hernia, all I could do is sit in jail and wait out my time and not be able to look up anything and struggle and suffer and then deal with the poor prison food too. 6 cookies and 3 slices of bologna meat a day. Does that help hiatal hernias? I don't think so. I didn't poop for a week when I was in jail on that food. It was it was it was a low calorie but high junk food diet. But I did. I mean, because of the low, because I was eating less, my stomach ulcers were not getting worse, but I don't think they were getting any better with that diet. Yeah, I go to, yeah, I wouldn't trust medical either. I go to the acupuncturist or a chiropractor first. And if the doctors don't really, I mean, doctors want to send you to the psychologists or psychiatrists first, not an acupuncturist, because they just don't have any good training, no herbal therapy training. And I was looking at studies that said that cabbage juice is supposed to be a better, almost as good as a particular drug for stomach issues. But I will say I ate half the head. Half the head of this. All right, I ate the first half with eggs. Second half, like yesterday, by itself, and I got gas problems in my lower bowels, which I had to do some yoga poses to release that trapped gas. I think eggs help with gas. Eggs can maybe constipate, so you don't want to eat them by themselves, but cabbage can overgas you and that can cause problems. So I needed to eat eggs with the cabbage. I was just eating it by itself stupidly, and I was getting some gas problems last night. It was scaring me because I've had problems with gas enough to where I got to sepsis, the point where my lips go numb. I have pain. I can't take a step without pain, so all I could do is lay down. And that hasn't happened. The last time I've had a real attack in the lower bowels where it just got so inflamed I couldn't walk for a week. I couldn't move. That's been a couple of years ago, and I think I've been able to hold it off. It naturally happens when you get in your 40s. You're more vulnerable to it, but there's methods to prevent it, which I was not doing, and I've learned now that I need to practice more. Sitting in this car does not help. Sitting in this car is what brought on that pain, that inflammation in the lower bowel, because I'm crunching everything together. And I notice when I lay on my back, I start stretching my upper back, and then I drive my wrists into the ground, and I really help with the stretching. And that way, I open things up, and then I have less of a chance of getting that lower bowel inflammation. And now that I'm more on top of the lower bowel inflammation with certain exercise moves and being aware of that, now I am now suffering with the stomach disorder. I still overreact to lower bowel inflammation because I'm so scared of that. But now with the burping problem, that's a new thing. And I'll say, I think that's a lot of the reason I've got the stomach problem is because I gave in to my addiction to dates. I was always looking for like easy to store, cheaper foods that are sweet. So I was giving on to sweet foods like dates every day, and dates cause gas, and I think dates kind of weaken my stomach. So now I haven't had dates in a couple of months, and I don't really plan. Well, I might have some in the future, but just not as bad as I was. But I'm gonna try to spend more money on the fresh fruits and juicy fruits and stuff. I've learned not to combine the frozen fruits with milk to make a smoothie. Smoothies are damaging to the stomach, but I do want to be able to prevent to be able to consume cold foods in the summertime. I just can't mix milk and fruits together. All right, I was doing that, and it tasted pretty good, but that was the moment I noticed I couldn't burp anymore. So I don't want to combine milk and fruits anymore together, but I do want to enjoy cold foods, ice and frozen fruits in the summertime. It's helpful. It's not as big of a deal now. But yeah, I look every day for what foods are good for a stomach ulcer, and now today I'm gonna go for some oats and then fermented milk. Yesterday there's this library that has this refrigerator that gives away free food and stuff, and I got some goat milk, and I drank some of that goat milk last night. It was expired by only 4 days. And I mixed it with my milk. It's all in here. I'm gonna get yogurt and mix that in with the goat milk. The goat milk tastes good, but last night when I drank just a little bit, I felt like my heart was sluggish, and I don't. And it was the goat milk that contributed to that. But worse, okay, there was a greater problem than just drinking the goat milk. It's just simply my dehydration. All right. So I decided, upon feeling that, I've been feeling kind of sluggish in my circulatory system for a while. I decided to start really drinking a ton of water. I bought this distilled water. I just started sipping and sipping and sipping, so I was peeing all night. And that helps with the sluggishness. I noticed that. Now I can't say the first time. I never noticed it the first time in jail, but I've noticed it for years now, that if I take some time to really drink as much water as I can, sipping it, so I can't slam it, but just forcing water down, especially when I'm in a city that has terrible tap water. and I was dehydrating when I every time I got thirsty and I went to the tap water to get a drink, I would spit it out. I couldn't drink it, so I was getting dehydrated a little bit. It doesn't take long. Um, so I bought this distilled drink as much as I could and peed all night. And it wasn't the goat milk that was causing that sluggishness in my heart. It was just a dehydration. The goat milk does not hydrate. All right, I can't rely on goat milk to be my hydrator. There's actually salt in it. It was a little eye opener, but it wasn't. I mean, I kind of suspected that I needed to drink a ton more. But I noticed in jail that was about my only option. I couldn't run to a grocery store and get an herb, whatever herb I would want, just for my heart, a heart herb like cayenne pepper. I could have just reached for the cayenne pepper. Um, I in jail, I just drank a ton of water. One day, I was sitting and my heart felt like it was jumpy, so I just drinking water. I was just like, okay, that's it. I don't like this jumpy feeling. I think everything is sluggish. I can't turn to any herbs. The only thing I could turn to in jail was water therapy, and just I started drinking a ton of water, pacing back and forth, sipping, 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 and then I was peeing. The toilets are. I was pretty much walking back and forth next to the toilets anyway, so stop and pee. So let's see, my Milky. That's how you. Oh, I didn't know how you pronounce your last name. Boil the tap water. Boil toxic water. Okay. I don't think distill. Okay, boil it to get the steam, and then how do I collect the steam? Because that's the only good part of that this water here. I don't think it's a biological thing. I think it's a chemical thing. I think this tap water has a chemical problem more than a biological one. I went to the grocery store to get and tried even the filtered water. They'll sell you 25 cents a gallon filtered water, and even I taste the chemicals in that. I've been to a lot of cities and I've drinking a lot of different waters. This water is bad in this city. And I was getting dehydrated because I couldn't quench my thirst trying to drink it when I got thirsty. But last night I've got the solution, just drinking a ton of water. So yeah, I prefer metal over plastic. Glass, I prefer glass over plastic. I prefer metal over glass. But I mean, I live in my car, and I keep things in the sun. All right, so look at this. I keep this in the sun. All right, it's constant every day. It's getting exposed to the sun every day. My spoons, my forks, my peeler now, which is new. I'm starting to eat more apples. I expose everything to the sun. All right, because the sun kills. I'm not buying salt ever. Salt is what I use to throw on the metal pieces in jail when they give salt away. That goes straight to the metal in jail, and it stays away from my lips. But yeah, glass is not my first choice. Plastic is always my last choice. It's metal all the way. That's why you hear banging. You don't hear, well, you can kind of hear clinking glass with the herbs, but you're gonna hear metal banging in this car because I don't get glass or plastic. And I've had a lot of sore throats with plastic, and enough is enough with that. But you can see I got these clinking glass things. How do they hang up? Well, I got a metal top, and then I put a magnet up there so they stay. I can actually keep better track of my herbs now. And that's kind of a problem too, because I've been turning to my herbs that block estrogen and raise testosterone, because I'm still living in my weightlifting years where I want to put on muscle still. I still desire muscle. I still desire that. And that's, I mean, my workouts consist of mostly of using these sticks. But yeah, don't, yeah, keep away from my rocking forward. So muscle is important, but and I've learned about testosterone in herbs. You don't get testosterone from meat. It's found in various herbs. Some herbs actually increase estrogen too, which I really probably should be eating more of, because I think that was part of my problem too with the circulatory issues. Not only dehydration, but sometimes I'll get a little crazy with the flax seeds. I'll have a bunch of star anise. I'll eat these herbs that encourage the body to jack up the testosterone, and some even block, flax seeds block the estrogen, and I'm just I'm in too much of an uneven territory there, and that messes with my heart. But I mean, dehydration is a big thing. And I want to believe that I got a painful calf right now. I'm making a report here. My calf hurts when I got into the city, and it started after I started drinking this water. But there could be other factors. I mean, Pocatello, straight up, Pocatello, Idaho water was obvious. Drinking that water straight up hurt my knees. That was a direct response. And I kind of believe along the same lines, I mean, there's consistency with the health advancements, or whatever, how it advances in me. I think the way this water tastes is very similar. It reminds me of Pocatello, and inflammation happens in the weirdest ways, but it's still swelling and it's pain, and I'm feeling that in my calf. It's that, and I wonder if it could also have been from the burdock seeds that I collected, because burdock seeds are supposed to be antibiotic. I harvested a ton of these burdock seeds at that farm that I made a video of on my other channel. Look at that, I got a half peanut container of these burdock seeds, and I chew them every so often. Not for the past couple of days, but I think maybe they're a detoxifier, and they could be releasing toxins and causing them to collect in my body, possibly in my calf. I wonder. I increase my toxins with drinking the local tap water, and then I try to release the toxins eating burdock seeds. I've eaten more burdock seeds than I ever have, because I was trying to stop this not hiccuping, but burping problem. But it doesn't seem to really work a whole lot. Now I got a ton of burdock seeds on me, and I don't know. I'll hold on to them, because they are supposed to be antibiotic, but it's not an immediate effect with the antibioticism with the burdock seeds. They have a kind of a medicine-y like taste. I've found them to be credible. One of the problems with collecting burdock seeds is those hairs. I was doing a lot of winnowing with blowing into the seeds to blow the hairs out, and I got those hairs stuck in between my fingers, causing irritation. So I put on gloves halfway through, but still, I was getting hairs on my neck and my chest and my arms and stuff, and it caused like little welts. I don't mind it. I got little welts from all those little hairs. It's not like I don't mind it after my experience with cactus hairs. Cactus hairs are so much worse, because I tried to eat the cactus fruit, and I got the hairs all in my hands, and they stay for weeks, and they're a lot more painful and stick, because they're barbed and harder. At least the burdock hairs, they'll break up a little easier, and they don't have barbs, or I don't believe they have barbs. They might, but I don't believe it. They're not as strong as the cactus hairs, so it's something I could tolerate. tolerate. It's like bee sting, like getting bee stings while collecting honey. The reward is worth more than the risk. So I got a ton of these burdock seeds. That'll last a while now. I've been without burdock seeds for a long time, and I've been desiring to at least hold them for when I get sick. I guess I would chew on them. They're supposed to be antibiotic, but they're not incredibly antibiotic. But it's nice to have that as an option. I want to have I want to try different things because I may have H. pylori, and I want to try to not only soothe the stomach lining, like I just had a cup of this marshmallow tea, um, yeah, but I also want to try to kill any invaders in my stomach too. So, yeah, I found these burdock seeds at that farm. It's like my on my grandma's farm in Rice Lake in Wisconsin. That they have a ton of burdock too, and they had a dairy farm. So I'm thinking this local farm may have had cows, or they did have cows, and it seems like cows encourage a lot of burdock growth. Burdock loves the cows. Cows might just rub up against the seeds and distribute the seeds all over a lot easier than other animals. And then just fertilization and all of that involved. So after the farmer left the farm, the barns remained, and so did a ton of burdock. So this stuff was not spread out. All right, it was like a huge clump of burdock, so it was easy to grab. But I got a lot of hairs stuck in my skin afterward. So, yeah, I wanted to get some more stomach ulcer friendly foods, and yeah, for plans, whatever. So yeah, that's it. Just I want to keep trying to reduce my burping problem, because the further I can get away from burping, the better. So focusing on that, and there's certain exercises. In the future, I want to show some exercises that I've been discovering that to really be interesting to me. I really enjoy a new approach to yoga, to my stick training, just my general fixing my knee. Oh, downloading something. I'm definitely not eating rice. Rice, I've found in studies, is worse than wheat. All right, if you look at the difference between wheat eating countries and rice eating countries, the countries that eat more rice tend to have more incidence of stomach cancer than the countries that eat more wheat. So I would highly not recommend rice. I don't know if you have any studies you'd like to share with the class. I would be interested in looking at your studies if you found that rice is actually beneficial to the stomach. But I personally, I've seen the studies. And also on top of that, I've experienced a lot more throat irritations, like the burning in the throat, the heartburn, and all that from rice, not wheat so much. So I'm a little, yeah. Potato. Yeah, I believe in fish collagen. There's fish collagen is extracted from fish now. I've never heard of that before. It's okay. And I just read sweet potatoes are good, and I thought about that. I'm like, okay, oats and some kind of yogurt today. But I was debating sweet potatoes too, because the Medline.com suggested sweet potatoes. A bag of fish collagen? You don't mean omega 3s. You're actually talking fish collagen. I've never heard of that. That's something new to me, and I've put some effort into studying nutrition. So yeah, sweet potatoes I'm interested in. I've had scares with sweet potatoes in the past, that they seem to block my stomach, and well, in this with the situation I'm in, maybe that actually could be a good turn of events for my condition. It's just amazing. how it's amazing how a food can do one thing to you that's beneficial, and then the next day or something it's actually terrible for you. It's food. It's just depends on the state of your body while you consume the food. So, and for seeds, um, it's not. It said part of the reason that a stomach can fall apart, can go bad, is from too many seeds. So I'm trying not to go crazy with seeds, because that's what I've been doing a lot. I've been eating a lot of pumpkin, or a lot of various seeds, mostly peanuts. So it's nuts. Nuts tear up the stomach, and that's been part of my problem, is turning to nuts too much. I want to like I learned about the bodybuilder who died from. He said he was puking up more food. He was puking up half his food, even water. And he was a bodybuilder, and he died at age 44. And it's scary to me. He said that his doctors recommended soups. Well, I'm not exactly turning to soups, but soft foods I can understand. I don't have the reason. I would consider barley soups, but not chicken soups. I'm not eating meats. Um, but soft foods, but not just that. I'm gonna follow the stomach ulcer diet. Wow, the sun is getting bright. Uh, so yeah, I'm just making a morning vlog here about how I want to handle my stomach ulcer going forward. My goal is to stop burping so much. All right, that's my goal, and I'm just communicating that here. So I'm gonna